On this week's episode of The Noicest Timeline, 8 reasons Joe Scott's channel is awesome and why you should subscribe immediately. Hey man, shouldn't you be promoting your channel? Oh, yeah, right. If I'm being honest, you're gonna get more bang for your buck subscribing to his channel. You're watching The Noicest Timeline, a show that dives into a new, awesome topic each week. You can watch previous episodes by clicking the info card on the screen. If you enjoy the video, click the like button below, and consider subscribing if you want to learn more about musicians, TV shows, comedians, YouTubers, entrepreneurs, artists, you name it, that make this life the Noicest Timeline. If you want to suggest topics for other episodes of the show, feel free to do so in the comments. Today's episode is part of a series I'm doing on my favorite YouTubers who cover topics from science and futurism, music and art, television and comedy. I'm keeping it eclectic. I hope you'll join me for these TNT episodes and check out their channels because they're awesome. Let's get to it. I first discovered Joe Scott's channel a couple years ago. I was very quickly taken in by his casual charm, his informational and educational content, and his particular brand of comedy. I still remember the day I came across how to make an old-fashioned. At the time, I was dabbling in basic mixology of bourbony drinks, and the old-fashioned was my standby. So, given that I'd seen a few of his videos, I figured, surely this will be informative. To my epic surprise, the video turned into a complete spoof of the entire process, and what I thought was going to be a masterclass on mixology turned into a masterclass on slapstick. Joe made me laugh so hard, I knew from that moment on I would be a fan, and that everything he created, I would watch. I'm fairly confident I've seen every video he's created for the last 2 years. Which is really saying something, because at the minimum, Joe makes 1 video a week, and for a long time, until very recently, it was 2 a week. And if you're late to the party, there's literally hundreds of videos buried in his channel. Sure, the production quality isn't as high the further you go back, but they still have that hilarious Joe Scott charm. You really can't go wrong. In the early days, before his channel grew into what it is now with the multiples of hundreds of thousands of subscribers, his show was built around the idea of answering audience members' questions. Hence the name, Answers with Joe. The questions he received range from the serious to the silly, from the scientific to the woohoo.
Before you guys get too far into it, Tizzy, let's get that woo-woo alarm out of the way.
He answered as many questions as he could. In fact, for a while, he had so many questions that he'd have to do lightning round episodes where he'd just ramble off answers to questions as quickly as he could, just to get through them all. Eventually, he dropped this interactive component of the channel. A while back, I asked him about it in a comment on one of his videos, and to my delight and surprise, he wrote me back! Honey, Joe Scott wrote me back!
Who?
To paraphrase his response, it just got to the point where he was receiving so many questions and topics that 1, any topic he came up with was likely already requested, and 2, for him to go through them all would have taken all week. So now he covers whatever awesome topics he wants to. The range is broad, but you know what to expect. He'll spin around in his chair, give a funny or insightful introduction.
I'm Joe Scott, and this is 2020.
Hit that title screen, and then jump into the story. Throw in some existential dread, a few jokes, and a thoughtfully crafted introductory lesson on things from general relativity to murder mysteries, and you have yourself a Joe Scott video. I'm never disappointed. There's so much that goes into making a successful YouTube video, and the reasons Answers with Joe, in particular, is worth watching are, first, as I've said, he's funny. I'm not sure he would consider himself a comedian, though he has dabbled with stand-up comedy. Either way, he's a really funny guy. Joe is smart, and his videos are educational. His writing is smart, his topics are smart, his ideas are smart. I always leave having learned something. Joe is thoughtful. He's not afraid to dive into the nuance of deeper issues, both acknowledging the flaws and merits of an idea, and often plays devil's advocate with himself. Really, Joe's a scholar. I'm not sure he knows it. Joe is enthusiastic about a lot of topics, and the enthusiasm comes across. Joe is honest. If you've been a fan for a while, you know Joe is honest. To a fault. Joe is exceedingly unpretentious. He's approachable and self-effacing, and he just seems like the nice, genuine kind of person you'd want to be friends with. In that vein, Joe cares. A truly empathetic and compassionate person, Joe seems to really care what his audience thinks. That might not matter to many out there, but to me, it makes a big difference. In short, Joe is awesome. If you enjoy learning new things, geek out over interesting scientific discoveries, and enjoy moments of occasional existential dread with a sympathetic partner, you'll definitely appreciate Joe's channel. You can find links to both of Joe's channels below, along with some of my most favorite Answers with Joe videos. He's also in a podcast called Our Ludicrous Future with the everyday astronaut Tim Dodd and Ben Solins. They talk about everything from science and futurism and rocketry, electric cars, and other sciencey stuff. You can watch it on YouTube or download it wherever you get your podcasts. This video is the first in a series on my favorite YouTubers. Next up, I'll feature a lesser known YouTuber who deserves way more recognition, Emmett Short. But next week's video is on Tank and the Bangas. Oh boy, I can't wait! Of course, links to previous episodes of the Noicest Timeline are available in the description. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button below, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section. It really helps me out. If you want to catch the next episode of the Noicest Timeline, be sure to subscribe and don't forget to click the bell for notifications. And remember, together we can make this life the Noicest Timeline.